Howdy y'all, what do these two things have in common? They both play games? Well, no. This thing is currently red ringed, so it doesn't play anything. But I would like it to. Well, I'm not gonna put a Steamdeck inside of it. Instead, I've been thinking about doing this. This is the PC I originally got to rip the RAM out of for my automatic ripping machine project. Well, I'm gonna reuse it again, because that's a tiny motherboard, and that could probably fit in here. I just wanna put a PC inside of an Xbox, because I'm trying to do this for cheap. I got this entire PC for $10. Let's throw it in an Xbox. All right, first things first, we are going to need an Xbox. And the hard drive itself, we're gonna put inside this thing. It's self-made man's hard drive. We'll get to the hard drive later, but let's just start by taking this thing apart. I really need to pick myself up one of those opening tools. All right, now I gotta do a little stabbing. Well, that's not supposed to come out like that. Oh well. It's not like this thing doesn't already have battle scars. Like, why is there an in-groove dent in there? Like, what? Well, this one came off a lot more nicely. Come on, give me the shell of my Xbox. I'm really wishing I had that $2 AliExpress tool right now. There we go. Really scratched it, but finally in. Well, now that we're in, let's start removing everything else. Oh, what the heck happened to that heatsink? Oh well. Oh, can't wait to cut my hand all over this metal plate. Oh, that comes out pretty easily. These could definitely be cleaned. I might be able to actually reuse these fans as well. Ew. But effectively, this is what I have to work with. This is gonna be a tight fit. I might need to do different RAM. Sweet, this thing is tiny. Got a little block on the bottom too for stability. I think that's made out of foam. I'm thinking I should probably put it like this so I can have extenders run out from there. Power brick might be a little bit of an issue though. Might have to route the cable inside and it might just permanently live attached. Or, I got enough room in here, I could just put this inside here. Well, let's grab the standoffs and see what we can do. I guess I figured out how the heatsink got dented. You can see the hole went straight through. All right, only needs 4 standoffs. That RAM is totally not gonna fit. Yeah, I might need to get some different RAM. Because I don't want to get this too close to the shielding because then it could start to short circuit stuff. That's okay, we'll find some cheaper RAM. Ooh, the fan can connect there perfectly. This is starting to really shape up. All right, let's see if my standoff measurements were correct. Oh, I had it upside down. Whoops, okay, gotta do it all over again. Well, 2 of the standoffs here are kind of okay. This one might not go in properly, but I mean, this is also my first time trying to put standoffs into something that didn't have them. Well, I got the 2 standoffs in the corners to work, so if I put like another one like right here, that should balance it out. That should be all I really need. If I put like a mark right here, I might be able to... All right, let's try one more time. Really what I probably should have done is taken one of these 3D printed adapters and kind of just bolt this to it and then put it into the standoff that it comes with, but I was afraid it was gonna be a little too tall. It's not the best alignment, but it should work. There, if I do a little bit of bending on the standoffs, then they can come in a little bit, and that looks like it'll be good enough. Motherboard doesn't look like it's really bending. Standoffs are just kind of tilted over. It's not as good as I would have liked it, but we now have it in there. Ooh, I hope the fan can still fit. Yeah, that'll have plenty of room. I'll just need to put the fan in before I put the motherboard in. Now would be a good time to test if the RAM can fit in, or if I'm gonna have to use smaller standoff. I'm just using some very basic team group RAM. Oh yeah, RAM will have no problem with clearance. Well, it sure has been a minute since I last touched the project, so the camera might look a little bit different. But anyway, I got the standoffs in, so now the motherboard itself can be held inside this little case. I also have this HDMI extender, which will allow us to use the HDMI slot that's on the case itself. Power is gonna need a little bit of help though. I'm thinking I'm gonna take the brick for this and put it inside here, but I can't exactly plug in the connector at the moment. So I'm gonna take a Dremel and just try to get rid of this little section right here. Better remove this though before I begin. Don't want shards getting all over my board. Let me go Dremel off camera because this isn't an environment I want sparks to be flying around in. I'm back, and now that I'm done ruining the integrity of this chassis with a Dremel, it is time to ruin the integrity of this with hot glue. At least that's how I'm gonna get these pieces in. So I went and I sanded down all the parts that could give me tetanus, but now I should be able to actually fit that plug in there. My Xbox 360 will have an internal power supply, something the original never actually had. Or at least on this model. I can tell now, this is not gonna go well. Let me put down some paper for when I inevitably accidentally get glue in places where I don't want it. Here, let me get a reference for what this AC adapter can actually do, because the glue's going on this side and I will never see this label again. Time for the madness. Oh, you stay in there. This is your new forever home. Oh no, the hot glue's not working. It's probably because I'm using expired hot glue and I'm also dumb. Well, that didn't work at all. Let's see if I'll have any better luck with this. I doubt it though. Hey, this part might have actually worked. That's probably because there's something for the hot glue to actually latch onto. Maybe I need to just like put something here because I don't think this is making contact. Yeah. Wonder if any of this 3D printed prototype stuff might be helpful. There we go, now that's staying. And I seem to have glued the paper as well. Oh well, I'll just rip that out later. The front I/O of the computer I'm taking out of here actually has a perfect thing that might be able to fit for the 2 USB ports up front, so let's rip this apart. Time for some more irreparable harm to electronics. Well, these clips are never going to be used for their proper purposes ever again, so I can just break them. This is what I want. I believe this should fit perfectly right here. I might not even have to glue it in. It might just fit. I mean, I should still probably glue it in a little bit. I always keep scrap pieces around for this exact reason, to work as spacers when things don't exactly fit. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. Lastly, I want to see about giving this thing a LAN port. First a little bit of a platform, a little bit more hot glue, then another dab. I feel like I'm making a James channel video of all this hot glue. And next we'll move on to the hard drive. Regular viewers of this channel will have seen this hard drive before, but basically there's nothing on here. And it's really only a 20 gig drive, so I'm just gonna replace it with an SSD. Just gotta get into it first. Or the same, I'm missing a screw somewhere and it's probably, yeah, there's absolutely one underneath this sticker. That's not gonna stop me from voiding this warranty. There we go, warranty voided. Oh, there's even more screws in here. You know, it's been several days since I recorded the first part of this video. Actually, it might have been a couple weeks. I can't remember if I flashed this hard drive or not. I hope I did, because I really don't want to have to try to do that when I have this thing assembled. Cool, remove the drive. It is a Samsung 20 gigabyte hard drive. And instead, we're gonna replace it with this. Now, I could look into figuring out how to try to use this connector and take it from the board, but I don't wanna. So instead, I'm just gonna remove this. It's proprietary anyway, and I don't know the speeds. But in theory now, I could throw this on any hard drive, provided the power is enough for it. Instead, I'm gonna need some cables. Got the power cable, and I also got a SATA. I'll just remove you for now. You stay put, spring. Okay, fine, you can live here. Okay, I'm gonna pull you guys up here. Gonna slide that into place. Actually, let's just try getting this connected first. I sure am making this thing do things it was never intended to do. SSD doesn't really look like it wants to go there, so just gonna prop it up like that, poke a hole through it, and then put this screw in. Now put the spring mechanism back in. Pretty sure it went in like that. Hey, guess what? I was wrong. Ah, yeah, there we go. That goes in like that. That goes in like that. There we go. One totally legitimate looking Xbox 360 hard drive. Well, now that we got the hard drive done and all the ports glued in, let's get the motherboard in and start getting this thing into its final form. Better get the cooling fan in there though, because yeah, this thing should still have a cooling fan. I think the standoff might be preventing me from getting this in there properly. Better remove this for right now. Oh, thank goodness. I was afraid it wasn't going to fit in with the power supply, but nope, it works. Now that the cooling fan's in, let's get these standoffs back on. Now let's start hooking it up. Never mind, I once again put the wrong standoff hole in. Okay, now I should be able to get this in. Looks like I'll really only be able to get into 3 of the standoffs, but 3 should be fine. Now I got the last standoff in. There we go. Just had to move some stuff around a little bit. HDMI in there, Ethernet in there, USB 3.0 right there. Ooh, maybe I should have plugged in the power first. Oh no, it might be blocking that. Ethernet might be a problem. Thankfully, the system fan port just reaches. Anyway, we're giving this thing 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. And then let's feed the hard drive in here. Oh no. Oh, I shouldn't have gone with the right angle cable. I'm gonna have to take this thing apart again and get a longer cable. Got the power switch here. Well, I think it's finally time to see if Frankenstein's monster comes to life. Wish me luck. Okay, the front USB ports work, but currently this back one does not, so I got a little bit more work to do there. But it's a decent progress right now, so let me go do a little bit more troubleshooting. Okay, so it's been a little while because I had to get some more parts, and also I had some other stuff I needed to do, but we're getting back into the project. My original solution for the Ethernet and USB wasn't exactly working out because of the power port here, so I think I have another one. First we need to just move this out of the way. Then I think I'll have enough room to fit USB on there as well. It's like just enough room, but I can do it. Okay, well, regardless, we need to glue this thing down. There we go, and we route the power cable in here. Then we have the USB 3.0 cable. And I don't necessarily want to hot glue this down because then I think I can't unplug this here. So let me see if I can figure out a way to get this to mount. Oh wait, I know, Velcro. I think it just has enough clearance to be able to actually use something. It barely fits, but it works. Well, the power cord situation's fixed now. Now we need to figure out how we're gonna do the power button. What I would like to do is take the original Xbox 360 front plate, like, you know, with the light and stuff, and use that. But, you know, with a connector like that, I don't think that's really gonna work. So let's see if we can use this as a template to be able to make our own power button. Do we have a prototype board that's about the same size? Ooh, that's pretty close. Oh, I see. There's 2 holes there that prevent that from going down too much. There we go. Yeah, that'll fit. Actually, let me see if I can just take the one off of this. Okay, I got my digital microscope up, so let's see if I just do this. Okay, here we go. Let's try getting this thing off. Never really a big fan of desoldering wick. I've never really gotten it to work for me properly. I can just never get it to go to the copper. Okay, maybe it is time for the desolder gun. There we go, I got it eventually. Okay, next I need to solder the switch, and I need that button to be where that red little mark is. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on each of the corners here, put some solder, and then try to hot air that, or solder it, we'll see. I'm also trying to add a little bit of a solder bridge between these 2 points to kind of make my own trace. And that's placed in. Now I'm going to try taking the button and the LED out from the actual power button for the real PC and try integrating it in with this thing that we made. And well, we're not going to use this power button, so we can just kind of trim that off. So I got a little bit of stuff I can work with, though I probably should have moved it over there. Yeah, there we go. All right, cables can go underneath it. There's definitely enough clearance. Perfect. Okay, well that's taken care of, but I want to have also the LED show, and I might just need to drill a hole through one of those. There we go, now the LED goes through. I have the button board hooked up here. Let's see if it actually works. Oh, and the HDMI is working. Oh, this rocks. Well, I went and also trimmed down the LED a little bit, so now it's more flush with the board, so hopefully this can go on there and have the light go through the actual power light. I think I have an idea of what I can use to get the rest of the ring to light up. So I looked at the pin out of this, and it only uses the power button and the power LED. There's also a hard drive activity LED. So I have these wires here, this blue one and this white one, hooked up to this LED, and that's hooked up to the hard drive activity. I'm gonna turn this on and see if I can just drive this normal LED with that pin. Ah, yes, it's flashing. Well, now I need to find a way to populate all the lights around here. So I think I figured out how these ring LEDs work. Let me turn off the lights here. So I have the positive here on the right, and I have the negative here on the left. If I touch the LED on the right with the positive, and on the left with the negative, it becomes red. But there is a third solder point just behind here. It's very hard to see, and if I touch there with negative, it's green. So if I want red, I gotta solder here. And if I want green, I gotta solder here. I guess it's time to get into micro soldering. Okay, I think it's finally done. I think it's finally ready for me to put it back together. Two last finishing touches I had to do. I was able to get the LEDs working. I had to basically make my own little board for it, so this should now be tied with the lights. And also the back fans here weren't working with this header pin. So what we actually have here are two 5-volt lines and then two ground lines. Both of the ground lines go to the same one, but the 5-volt lines actually go to two separate pins. This one was designed for a 5-volt pin, a ground pin, and then I think a fan control pin. So I had to go and splice some wires and connect the two ones that were the 5-volt to the 5-volt line there. Now I think it should be good to go, but let's assemble this. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what this video is going to be like anymore. I've been recording this over the course of weeks, it seems. Ooh, I hope I do not snap that. That would be bad. I'm having some issue here with the front light part. I'm starting to see why I haven't seen one of these online before. You can kind of see what I had to do on the back in order to get this LED thing working. So just to be safe, I'm just going to put a bunch of this tape on the back. There we go. That should keep it from shorting out with the metal. Yeah, it definitely is a self-made thing. And here it is. I'll need to figure out what to do about this part. Let's plug it in. Oh no, it doesn't fit. Well, I guess I'm not done chopping yet. Okay, there we go. Now it actually fits. And here it is. It's finally assembled. It looks like a normal Xbox 360, but then when you turn it over, you notice that the disk drive is missing. Yeah, I decided to not include a disk drive in it, well, partially because, I mean, you can kind of see in there it wouldn't fit, but also airflow, I guess. Currently nothing going into the memory card slots, but you can use the USB ports. And here on the back, I have a very shoddily put together USB port and Ethernet, and then HDMI out, and there's nothing in the AV port. I gotta remove this. An SSD is inside the original hard drive enclosure, and I had to do a bit of work in order to get that plug to actually work. Let's see if it powers on the way I intended to. So I gave this to my friend Jack for a little bit so he could put some front end and some of my games on here that I have in my own personal collection. I'm not sure what he did, so I'm very curious actually to see that. All right, and the thing I'm probably most proud of is this. Yeah, I got the red ring of death on here. So the white one is tied to the normal power, and the red one should be tied to hard drive activity. Yeah, he put Batocera on it. Oh, that's funny. So right off the bat, he's trolling me by having this be a PlayStation background. This looks like the cross-media bar. Alright, you loaded this up with a bunch of shareware titles. Well, we got Commander Keen, we got Doom, Duke Nukem, Duke 3D, Duke 2, OG Quake, Oh, there's the sound. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, it's trying to be blades. Oh, it's trying real hard. I feel like this theme's a little bit more appropriate than the XMB theme, but that's funny though. I don't know why all the text is kind of moved over there, but whatever. Last time I tried playing Doom Shareware, it didn't really go so well. Let's see if I can get it right this time. I should be able to get through E1M1 on Ultraviolence on this one, hopefully. All right, there we go. Yes, I could do it that time. And almost par time too. All right, let's see how Duke Nukem plays. Also, I was like, oh, I need to find something that'll put this at the same level so I can have the display up and stuff. Forgetting that I have like 10 Xboxes. So I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, this broken Halo 3 one's just gonna hold our monitor. Let's see. Goal for here, get inside the theater. Already doing a lot better than I did when I was just on keyboard. Okay, I can do better. Okay, well, I at least made it in the theater that time. What else we got on here? This one, the mouse and keyboard controls work. Other ones I've been having to play with just my controller. All right, just gonna do normal for this one. Huh? Oh, it's so hard to see the dogs. Yeah, this plays pretty well. Well, it can run Quake. Well, overall, I think I'm pretty satisfied with how this project came out. I mean, I can't exactly get this thing to run SteamOS. The hardware's a little old, and even trying to get Bazzite was kind of a pain. But hey, it looks like it can run Batocera and play a bunch of DOS games. But if you want to see the version 2 of this or more in the future, let me know. Maybe instead of having the disk drive, I could just supplement it with one of the HD DVD drives. I've been working on this project for weeks, if not months. And while the end result isn't exactly, well, professional, I still think it's a pretty novel idea. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, because I'm curious what you think about this abomination that I've now unleashed onto the world. Also, thanks Jack for setting up Batocera. It was a bit of a pain to get running at first, but I mean, overall, it works. But that's gonna be it for now. So long, y'all.